just on recruiting, bring them in, and let the chips fall where they may. Other people are bring them in, nurture, leadership development, relationship building, those types of things. Where do you fall?
That's absolutely the second one. I mean, it requires focus and commitment on their part, and if I don't see that out of a person, I don't waste a lot of time. I can't make them, be ready at the right time of their life. I look at it like 12 o'clock straight up is when they're ready.
Right.
And some people, you talk to them and they're at 3 o'clock, and some are at 6 o'clock, and some are at 9 o'clock, and some are at 11 o'clock, but they're still not at 12 o'clock.
Right.
So I'm just going to go, when I recruit, I'm going to talk to enough people that I hit them right at 12 o'clock when they're ready. And I can't make it 12 o'clock in their life. I can just find them at 12 o'clock.
Sure.
Okay? So once I find them at 12 o'clock, then what I've got to do...
Wait, back up for a second, because I think that's an awesome point that you made, is you're not going to make them be 12 o'clock. You're not going to make them...
You can't.
You're not going to convince them that it's 12 o'clock for them.
Right.
You're going to talk to enough people that you will find somebody that's at 12 o'clock. That's a fascinating concept.
Well, and I think everybody gets at 12 o'clock at some point or another in their life. But you have to wait for that to happen. So that's why people have to be talking to enough people and just having the conversation.
Right.
And if they're 11 o'clock, put them in the file and call them back in 6 months, call them back in a year. Some of my best people, it took me 5 years to get them in.
Sure.
5 years of recruiting them.
Wow.
That's okay. I just, I'm not going anywhere, and I know that eventually they'll be at
12 o'clock. And hopefully you're talking to them.
Yeah.
That's what I see so many amateurs do. They talk to somebody once, and because they're not at 12 o'clock, the person says, yeah, it's not a good time. And then they never, ever talk to them again, or they get mad at them and close the door, they hurt the relationship.
Right. Or they're offended because somehow they're insecure enough, and the person said, I'm not ready, or it's not the time for me, or I'm not interested,
Sure.
None of that means anything. They'll eventually get there. What do they have? They got nothing. They got a job, maybe.
Right.
But they'll probably lose anyway, or they're not going to stick with it anyway. They're not going to have any future anyway. They're just renting their life to somebody, okay?
Right.
So eventually you got the gold.
Sure.
They're going to want what you've got eventually once they finally mature enough right here personally in their personal financial progress that they finally realize that they got to do their own thing. They got to have something for them. That's the only security they're ever going to have, So that's the key, is just to realize you can't make it 12 o'clock. You just got to find them at 12 o'clock. Then once you do find them, then the key really is, if they're serious and they're committed, you owe it to them. If they're going to make that kind of commitment and really demonstrate that focus, they're making life decisions. You owe it to them to really do all you can to help them build a group.
So the real key is, if somebody is focused and consistent, that they demonstrate that to you. They come in.
That's right.
And if they demonstrate to you that they're focused and consistent
by their actions,
by
calling me every day. I have to call them every time. They calling me. They're bringing
people to me. Do you tell them to call you every day?
Absolutely.
Okay.
When I sponsor somebody, it's a partnership. And I say, look, you could never afford to hire me. You couldn't afford my hourly wage.
I love that.
But I'll work for you for free, as long as you do these things.
And what are the things you ask them to do?
You're focused, you're committed, you call me every day. We're going to get you to leadership immediately, as fast as we can in the next several months, okay? And what I want is, I don't want you to even look sideways for a year. Not even one hint of it.
Right.
If you call me 3 months in and you got that nasal tone in your voice, Nathan, it's really hard, I don't know. I'm pretty much going to give you dial tone.
Right.
Because I don't have time.
Right. It's 1 year commitment.
You got to be focused. You got to be serious. You got to be committed. You got to call me every day. You got to be putting people in front of me. We got to be doing launch calls, launch meetings at your house. We'll start to travel to your group wherever it starts to develop, and we're going to chase the business. We're going to chase that business through those lines of people, and we're going to develop dynasties.
And that's got to give them lots of security, knowing that you're going to be there to help them, and you're giving them a little bit of direction.
If they'll do that, we know they can do it. We know they'll make it.
Yeah.
But the price might be too high for some people.
Right.
That's okay.
Well, the focus and consistency is too high a price, like you said, for most.
What's the high price?
Right.
The real high price is you spend 40 years between 15 different companies, and you have nothing, and your life's gone, and you've rented your whole life to somebody else for nothing, to start over every January. That's zero.
Yeah.
That's no way to live. With all the uncertainty, all the politics, all the baloney, never being paid what you're worth, those are the real risks.
Oh, for sure.
The real risk isn't doing a business like this and even failing in one of them.
Yeah.
And trying to learn how to do it.
Right.
And then try it again, you know,
Yeah.
until you figure it out, until you change enough that you can figure it out.